First, I want to start out by saying I am a huge fan of Jack Kirby and the Fourth World. And in this video, I wanted to share with you the keys that I've collected that make up this immense world. Now, a little history. When Kirby first got to DC, he wanted to draw Superman, but he didn't want anybody to lose their job. And at the time, Jimmy Olsen didn't have a permanent creative team. He also thought it would be easier to set up his vision with existing characters. So we start out with Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, issue number 133, and this is the issue that Jack Kirby started with. This marks the first appearance of Morgan Edge, the president of the Galaxy Broadcast System, which bought the Daily Planet. He also brings back the Newsboy Legion. Well, actually, it's their sons from the original Newsboy Legion that he drew back in the 40s. So in issue 133, Jimmy Olsen's assignment is to go to the Wild area and find out the secrets in the Mountain of Judgment. In continuing the story from 133 to 134, Jimmy now heads into the Mountain of Judgment. So the big reveal is that Morgan Edge is serving Darkseid. This also marks Darkseid's first appearance in Cameo. Continuing the story of the Mountain of Judgment, we move on to Jimmy Olsen 135, where Jimmy and Superman discover the secret hidden in the mountain. It turns out to be a DNA cloning lab where they clone the Golden Guardian to fight off a kryptonite-sprayed giant clone of Jimmy Olsen, just in case you were wondering why he was green and looked like the Hulk. Forever People issue number 1, the first full appearance of Darkseid, the first time we see a mother box, the first appearance of the Forever People, and we learn that Darkseid is on a quest for the anti-life equation, which I think would have made a great plot for a Superman movie. It would have also been a great setup for Darkseid and the Justice League movie. Up next is the New Gods issue number 1, and here we dive full force into the Fourth World. This is a real important issue and it marks a lot of firsts. We learned how the new worlds of New Genesis and Apocalypse formed. It's the first appearance of Orion, the first appearance of Highfather, the first appearance of Lightray, and the first appearance of Metron and his Mobius chair. We learn that Orion possesses the Astro Force and that the Source guides him. We learn about the Wall and how the Source communicates to them, and how important it is for Orion to stop Darkseid from getting the anti-life equation, which would be the end of free will for all living beings. I personally think the New Gods and the Fourth World would make a great premise for a movie, but the odds of that happening are probably slim to none, just because of all the similarities that it shares with Star Wars. And the sad thing is, these were written way before Star Wars was even conceived. And when we get to New Gods 7, I'll link some of those similarities to Star Wars. Alright, moving on to Mr. Miracle issue number 1. This is the first appearance of Scott Free, who becomes Mr. Miracle after Thaddeus Brown, who was the original Mr. Miracle, was shot and killed by the Inner Gang, ordered by the leader of the Inner Gang because of a long-running bet that he didn't want to pay up if Thaddeus won. This is also the first appearance of Oberon, who is Mr. Miracle's assistant. And Mr. Miracle number 2 is the first appearance of Granny Goodness, and skipping to Mr. Miracle number 4 is the first appearance of Big Barda. Alright, let's jump back to Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, and in issue 136, Darkseid wants to destroy the secret cloning project hidden in the mountain. Alright, getting back to New Gods, the series was never completed and ended at issue number 11. And the only other big key from the series is New Gods number 7. Now, if they ever do anything with the Black Racer, his first appearance is in issue number 3. So in New Gods 7, it marks the first appearance of Steppenwolf, who is one of Darkseid's generals and happens to be his uncle. It is also the origin of Orion and Scott Free, where Highfather and Darkseid exchange sons in a pact in order to keep the peace. So here are the similarities to Star Wars. Orion is guided by and gets his power from the Source. It is called the Astro Force. And when you read the comic series, you don't realize why Orion has this constant struggle with anger and violence until issue number 7, where it's revealed that he is the son of Darkseid. So if you want to, in the comments below, please tell me how you think they could do an original New Gods movie without those key elements. And as always, I'm glad to see you made it to the end of the video, so thanks again for watching.